For decades, the number of hungry people had been declining. This isn't true anymore. Today, achieving the Zero Hunger goal by 2030 is becoming more challenging. More than 820 million people still do not have enough to eat. Hunger is increasing in many countries where economic growth is lagging, particularly in middle-income countries. Rising unemployment and declining wages and incomes are challenging people's access to nutritious foods and essential services such as healthcare. Income inequality is rising in many of the countries where hunger is on the rise, making it even more difficult for the poor to cope with economic slowdowns. Conflict and climate change are also driving hunger. Unless greater investments and more targeted efforts are made to address these drivers, we will not meet the goal of ending hunger. The Zero Hunger goal is not simply to eradicate hunger, but to ensure that all people have access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food, and to end all forms of malnutrition. This year's State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2019 report goes beyond hunger. For the first time, it provides estimates of the people who face uncertainties about obtaining food, the moderately food insecure. Today, over 2 billion people do not have regular access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food, a problem that affects people not only in low and middle-income countries, but also in high-income countries. The chances of being food insecure are higher for women than men in every continent, with the largest gap in Latin America. Too many children suffer from low birth weight or stunted growth. At the same time, no region is exempt from the epidemic of overweight and obesity. Overweight and obesity have increased in all regions, particularly among school-aged children and adults. But obesity is not the opposite of hunger. They can actually be linked. There are many reasons for this. First, fresh nutritious foods are often more costly and less available than highly processed foods, high in fats and sugars. Another reason is that the stress of living with uncertain access to food and food restrictions can cause physiological changes that increase the risk of overweight and obesity. And lastly, a malnourished child has a higher risk of obesity later in life. There are other repercussions of malnutrition. The economic costs of malnutrition are staggering. Obesity alone could cost $2 trillion annually in lost economic productivity and healthcare costs worldwide. And undernutrition would reduce gross domestic product by up to 11% in Africa and Asia. Our food systems are broken, and unless bolder actions are taken soon, humanity is at grave risk of seeing a continued rise in rates of hunger, obesity, and diet-related chronic diseases. To fix our food system, we must work together. Our actions must be focused on collaboration, stretching across borders from agriculture, food, health and water to education, social protection and economic policies. Countries need to integrate food security and nutrition into broader efforts to reduce poverty and gender inequalities. Ending hunger and all forms of malnutrition by 2030 is an immense challenge, but with real political commitment, bolder actions and the right investments, zero hunger is still achievable.
this planet, we want zero hunger by 2030. What does that look like? It means access to nutritious food for everyone, starting with those furthest behind. From birth to childhood, adolescence, motherhood, and old age. And when times are tough or disaster strikes, it means protecting our precious food supplies. But how can this be done? By growing and consuming a variety of crops, investing in family farmers to grow more and better, and in roads and storage to ensure food gets to market, so the 2 billion most vulnerable people can help themselves. At the moment, we waste a third of all the food we produce, which costs our planet precious resources. Overall, hunger and malnutrition cost our economy $3.5 trillion every year, while the cost of creating systems to fix hunger are less than a tenth of that, $270 billion each year. So it would be crazy not to get this done. We're already on our way. And if we all work together, after 15 years,
This is a story about zero. What if you didn't have enough to eat? What if your life was defined by what you didn't have? More than 800 million people are hungry and undernourished. They live in fear of zero. It's time for us to rethink zero. This is the Zero Hunger Challenge, a comprehensive vision of a world where hunger is ended everywhere, a mission to zero out hunger. In 2012, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon launched the Zero Hunger Challenge, setting the world 5 challenges to end hunger in our lifetime. Sustainable food systems across the globe, zero loss or waste of food, double smallholder productivity and income, access for everyone to adequate food all year round, and zero stunted children less than 2 years old. In a world of plenty, no one should go hungry. But right now, more than 30% of children are malnourished. 1 in 9 people are currently hungry. By 2050, there will be 9 billion people in our world. We must work together to make sure everyone gets the food they need. We will commit to support and empower women to become equal decision makers in their households. When women have equal choices, women and children are better fed. We will improve access to food by partnering to promote small family farms and the infrastructure that serves them, sharing knowledge and experience to sustainably improve land management and productivity. We will work together to minimize food losses during production, storage, and transport, and encourage consumers to reduce waste and make wise choices about what to eat. The 5 challenges have been set. Now it's up to all of us, governments, businesses, civil society, and individuals, to join together to create the most beautiful number. Because when you zero out hunger, the possibilities become infinite.
Welcome to today's news. As all the news, hello.
Over 800 million people are chronically hungry.
International hunger.
Famine is the worst in living memory.
There is enough food produced today to feed every last one of us. Yet, over 820 million people face chronic food deprivation today. 1 in every 9 people in the world is undernourished. In Africa, in fact, hunger is on the rise in almost all sub-regions, with an overall prevalence nearing 20%. Malnutrition is taking heavy toll across developing and developed nations. On the one hand, we have stunting among children, and on the other hand, the growing problem of obesity among children, adolescents, and adults alike risk the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations for the world. Worrying trends of diminishing land availability, climate change, and degradation of our environment are worsening the situation. If you were given a chance, what would you do? At Avishkar, we believe in Make We Can. A belief in innovation leading to fundamental change in our lives. So take your step and share what you can do to make the mankind prosper.